we're live.
Okay, I will call the meeting to order. November 15th was the last meeting? No, I'm sorry, December the 3rd.
Yes, December 3rd.
Okay. And now we have old business.
Well, we have minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine. We had
I was
amended version from November the 15th.
Yes,
And then we had the minutes from December the 3rd.
the revised version.
Yeah.
And I make a motion to accept the revised
I
version.
second.
All in favor?
I.
Motion carried.
Now, I might mention that, I guess we should mention Jerry Ann Burrows, election board member, is not with us today. She's sick. So just the two of us. And Sandy Wilkinson, the voter registration officer. So,
Now we will go on to the old business.
okay. HAVA grant that we had, I think, was still active at our last meeting in December. We have received reimbursement from the state. So all of the grants that we had requested in the amount of $36,000 plus were all put to bed by the end of the year. We reimbursed the last $12,000 for poll pads, and that bill has been paid. So we completed everything within the 2024 calendar year, so we're in good shape on that.
Sounds good.
And that will let us update our poll pads.
Anytime we get something under grant, that's good.
Yes. Meeting dates, I have you should have one in your packet with the dates that we had talked about every other month, unless we decide that we do need to meet. But this has been sent to newspapers. No election dates, we have that on here also. But election board meetings, February 11, April 8, June 10, August 12, October 14, and December 9. Every other month, basically. And since we have no elections, that should be adequate, I hope.
I will be on April the 8th, I will be in Nashville at the rheumatoid doctor, so we may need to move that one.
Okay. We can find us a date and go work off that.
I'll be coming back, actually. I see him late on the 7th, and I'll be driving back in on the 8th.
Okay.
So.
Look at and let me know when you want to do it.
Anything else is fine. I just have to take what they give me down there.
Okay.
The only other day I have a doctor's appointment is April 29th. So.
You look at what works for you, let me know something relatively close to that or whatever, and I'll notify papers, and we should be good.
Well, we can even go, do you want to stay on Tuesday? Can we have the room?
Well, we're still not, we can do that, and if we can't, we're actually on video today, and that doesn't take effect until July, so even if the room's not available, we're still okay for that.
Okay, I didn't know if you just wanted to move it to the next one on the
That-
15th.
We can do that, move it on Tuesday the 15th, April 15th.
Okay. And I'm sorry about that. They made that appointment in December.
Same time, 1 p.m.
That's fine.
Okay, so we just back it up a week. Okay. Next on the agenda, this was is the 2025 House and Senate bills, and I've got copies. You should have a packet there. The clerks did a really good network, and they actually sent out a list of pretty well all of the House and Senate bills that have anything to do with the clerk's office. So some of it may not necessarily be election. It could be other items, but it does relate to the clerk's office. And there's some pretty interesting stuff in there. I know there's a lot of talk locally. One of the Senate bills, I believe it is, and it's actually not on this list. It should be, but it's not, is doing away with township government, which would be referring to the trustees and
Been reading that.
yes, and the advisory boards. And then there's several. There's a lot of discussion about altering in some way the early voting days, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of discussion is the best way to put it,
Right.
pertaining to that one. and I kind of see both sides of it. I'm not sure I understand it, because in the last 2 out of the last 3 elections, we voted more people early than we have on election day.
Right. And I think that's gonna continue.
I think it will also, but the consensus as of today with the emails that I'm seeing among a lot of the clerks is that the election board should have jurisdiction over that at the local level, because everybody's different over how much early voting you do.
Right.
And currently, it's like 28 days out, you start, and then you have to have at least at one satellite location. So if they do put it back in the election board's hand, I'm assuming you're gonna have some more flexibility in how long or how many days.
What
or-
we can do with
and
it.
what we can do. If it does go back, it originally came out as 7 days before election day, and then it got extended to 14 days, and I don't think very many people are happy with either of those. I think they feel that it should be the local election boards making the decision,
I can
which
see
makes
that.
perfect
Yeah, I
sense,
can see that.
because, we're not different than Marion County.
Oh, yeah. Or even Vanderburgh County,
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Yeah, so, and then there's a lot of other stuff, and the one that concerns me is with some of the different proposals that are in these bills. It seems to me, in my opinion anyway, that all of them extend the time it's gonna take to vote on, and which would be on election day, and there's even one of them that calls for extending. Currently, it's 4 minutes that a person's supposed to be in a voting booth. They're wanting to change that to 7. And part of that would be you're moving the municipal elections to an even numbered year. So now you're gonna have more on the ballot. They're talking about doing away with straight party voting, which means rather than people that go in and hit one button and being done and move out of the way, they're going in and have to select each
They're gonna have to read
individual.
each race individually.
Right, and, especially if the trustees and advisory board are still on there, you're gonna get into some lengthy ballots, which I think we got into
This past election.
this last time with the judicial retention questions and what was the other thing? Public questions.
Public, yeah.
So, but anyway.
Which
we'll-
those won't stop either, so.
We'll see how these things turn out. I think we've got a couple of people in Indianapolis today from the trustee part of it, talking to them and trying to explain some things there. So,
Do you really think they'll do away with the trustee? I mean, they have tried in the past.
they've tried in the past. I don't see how they can do that, my personal opinion. I
The
mean,
one thing that when I read into it was the fire, the territory on the fire preventions. And that was gonna turn it over to the county, which I could see that would cause a mass situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how that would. of course-
Well, I don't see how they can move from a standpoint of where, of course, they can do whatever they want to, I guess, if they pass it. But to me, to try to take a fire or a medical station away from a township and move it out, I don't see how that's gonna go over very well.
I wouldn't think.
I don't think it's going to, and I don't think, like I say, the feedback on that one is pretty strong.
The only reason I'm more into the fire, of course, our house burned several years ago. And I know that the response time in Lewis Township, we pride ourselves on that. And we actually, the firemen in Lewis Township today, our house burned, beat the response time of some of the funded, like in Warwick County where they're on salary. Their response time was quicker. So that's the kind of a stickler for me.
Well, at any rate, I've put together a House packet and a Senate packet, and I've gone through and highlighted
Thank you.
several of them. There are probably some more that you may, as you look at them or whatever, but I also attached an actual printout of each of the ones that pertain primarily to the elections, and so you can kind of see what it says. There's some misconception on the township, and I know Sandy and I both had this conversation, that they are going to do away with the advisory board, but not the trustee. And that's not what the bill that I'm reading says. It says do away with township government.
Well, and then I was reading somewhere they were gonna keep the advisory board for an extra year after that to advise if, like, the territories come to the central government.
So,
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I hadn't read that one, but I did read there where they would extend it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, with anything else, you'll hear a lot of different things, but.
I would see where they would keep the advisory boards, period, to advise the commissioners and the council.
The way it reads is do away with all township government.
Government,
Right.
And then revert all the fire stations and everything else back to county
County.
jurisdiction, so. Anyway, that's
That's
where that is
crazy.
at. But you
Okay.
got copies of those, I've got extras if anybody else wants them, if you talk to anybody that wants to see some of them
Okay.
or whatever. Moving on from that, under new business, IEC 22, I came and got you guys to sign
Right.
because it slipped up on me a little bit. And we did get it submitted on time by January 31st, so we're good on that. And then I have an IEC 6, which I think you have a copy of also. I think I included that, I may not have. No, I didn't, I kept it. But I've got
See
a
it.
copy of that ready for disposal of the old voting machines. I have been in touch with Microvote on a couple of occasions. They are coming to get those and to take a look at our equipment just to go over it and fine tune anything that needs to be done. But we haven't.
Do we know when they're coming after?
Set a date yet, no. we
No,
have not.
okay.
So, but that's, and then next meeting was Tuesday, April the 8th, we're gonna change that to the 15th. That's basically, I don't know of anything else that, Sandy's working on some voter registration things, and, beyond that, we haven't had a whole lot going on. I mean,
Okay, it just left me. Oh, what was something I was gonna ask, and, oh, do we have to keep those old machines under lock and key still?
They are,
I know they are, but I didn't know if you needed the room in there,
no,
if
not-
they had to be,
I don't think so.
because that would be an option, I guess. if we
Right,
could.
we've got room, and that's what we keep thinking that they're coming, and we just haven't made the connection with them. I know Microvote had a meeting right before Christmas, and they were setting some dates when they were coming, but I haven't heard from them
Right.
yet about when it's gonna be, so that's been a little bit. Now
Okay.
We're in month, 6 weeks from that, so.
And we don't, everything else is up to date, or they will be.
As far as I know, I mean, we have no elections this time. and-
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I read somewhere District 7, which I know is not us, but anyway, they were gonna redistrict their Senate district. They haven't said anything about
I haven't
redistricting,
heard anything on
Word.
that.
nothing on anything
Nothing.
like that. Okay, well, I read that, it was a news feed that come through, and I thought, well, that's odd that they're only gonna do one.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like
Yeah. There is, I think, and I don't have it with me, it's on my desk. I think now that you say that, there is a segment of the clerks conference on March the 11th and 12th that does discuss redistricting, which I thought was odd, but maybe that's got something, maybe that does.
Maybe that's
have-
what-
maybe
yeah.
There is something.
Because that was just this week, it come through on a news feed, and I thought, because I mean, as far as we know, there's no, because we always redistrict in off years.
that. Right.
Yeah.
This is usually the year that we work on it. So, but I mean, as far as annexes or anything like that for any of the towns or cities, there's nothing.
Nothing to me. That's the only thing I've seen pertaining to redistricting at all, is that it is a topic on the clerk's.
Okay, just making sure we don't have
Agenda.
anything that we need to,
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
that we need to look at.
So is there anything else you, I don't know of anything else. It's,
Nope, I'm working on files, and cleaning that out.
I should say, are they letting you clean out anything? or-
Well, I'm going through each drawer and getting it all lined out, pulling out anything that's, people that are gone or canceled out.
Right.
All that.
But we haven't had any, I mean, what we can do as far as
Yeah,
cleaning
what we
up.
can do.
Because I know that we're way off on numbers.
Yeah. That's all that's going on right now.
All right, so
Well, there you go.
redistrict or anything, that's.
I'll look into that, but that's the first, like I say, I hadn't heard that.
What was odd, I mean, it just popped up, it was, I said, what? But I hadn't heard anything else, but it was odd that it came up,
Yeah.
so.
We redid them, they redid everything during the census year, didn't they?
It's been a while, I just don't remember when.
Because, I mean, I know we wound up with, we went to a full, what, Bartell's, eighth what district?
Right,
And before we were split, we had two
Right.
different, I do know that, so I don't know.
Well, it's been since you've been here.
Yeah, that was,
I mean,
yeah.
it seems to me like it's been done
the
not very
last
long
2 or 3
ago.
years,
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 years ago.
but, because I know we haven't messed with annexes for a long time, like with Santa Claus and
Right.
Rockport.
We had 2020, we had split districts on that state representative seat, and in 24, we did not.
Right.
So somewhere in there, it got
It
switched.
switched over. I remember that now that you say that. They did split and then it went, yeah, which is better. But, okay, and the bills, which you're more familiar with the bills, that doesn't affect the township boards, not the township, the town boards?
No, it's
It's strictly township.
Strictly the townships
Okay.
is the way it
Sure.
reads. There's a copy of it in there, I can't quote it chapter and verse, but I
Is it
think
under the
first
Senate or
thing
the
on it,
House?
And something, I don't remember the month and day, but 2027, by that point, and something about 2027 and just doing away with the township government.
Right,
And then where everything would go, and the EMA director would be over the fire.
yeah, that's what I thought it
So,
said, yeah. Oh, I know why I asked that, because it said here, there is a bill, something about the appointed members of city and town boards.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is, yeah, that one wasn't anything
Nothing major.
nothing earth shattering, whatever it is. So something, I think it's more to do with the caucus or something,
Right.
about who's eligible, those kind of things, if I remember
Or the
right.
school board deal.
And the school board deal, they're wanting to go to,
I read something on that, but I
Political
didn't, yeah,
that you
political
have to
affiliation, and
declare your political affiliation, which makes,
no sense to me. It's always not been, it's supposed to have not been,
Right, right.
but,
There's a lot of, I don't know, it's kind of odd stuff to me.
none of this has passed, correct?
No, there's some of it's in the second, third reading, and
Right,
past the first reading,
Right.
and those kind of things. But that one sheet will show you, I think, and that's a week or two old, so, but it shows like second reading or whatever,
okay,
the
the one up
the
here.
master one that's got all the different stuff.
Right.
It's at the back of your,
The back of this one.
no, the back of your agenda thing. Yeah,
Oh,
that
gotcha.
one. I think
That's
that's
what
got
this
some
is.
notes on it about the second or third reading.
It says second readings,
Yeah. So, and I haven't seen another one of those in the last few days. I don't know if there's a date on that one or not, but,
January 31st.
yeah, so that's been 10, 12 days ago.
Okay. So nothing's went. I think they sit up there and think of things for us to.
That's what we call it.
Well, some of it I don't understand, but, I mean, I guess somebody's got a reason for it.
Well, who knows?
I mean, the early voting part could come out actually, the way that the talk's going, we could come out better off in that than what we were, because that's been a state thing, the 28 days. If they do kick it back to the election boards, and you can set your own dates.
Right.
Oh, I think that would be great.
And I mean, they do give you some leeway on the municipal elections. You don't have to adhere to the 28 days because they know there's going to be so much less voting. But, you know, if you, I mean, you could wind up doing more. In our case, Santa Claus, we can do 2 or 3 weeks, or, you know, do both places 3 weeks, or both places 2 weeks, or, you know, what, we can make some changes. And, you know. Of the month, so
Don't they meet no, they meet during the day. I was thinking they met in the evening,
the council,
but yeah,
they do, the commissioners meet in the afternoon.
in the afternoon.
and they meet twice, the council once. If we wind up getting our own flexibility, we might be able to.
I started to say, could we not just not vote on those
We
days?
might be able to
If
skip
we-
that particular day, yeah, we might. We
That
have
would
to
be
see
much
what
better
her-
for, other than that, because
But she's got.
Having it in here is really.
it's so much better than
So
having
much
it in the
better to have it.
office.
Yeah.
And it's right here where you can go ahead and run the sheets. So moving it like to the basement or, that's just really not gonna be convenient.
No. Well, I know she's got other people because of this new video deal, that there are other people that are trying to work with her to get meetings in here too, so that they can video there. So I know the sheriff's department is for one, but she told me that today. So,
But if we had scheduled everybody, when
we
everybody
have to
was
schedule,
meeting.
we look at it and see, I mean, we might be able to work something on it.
It's just gonna be so hard to find anywhere else. Because I mean, really the only big place is the basement. I mean,
Unless we take it off-site and go back to school.
Yeah, that's not,
Gym.
for handicap accessible, that's not very feasible either.
no, it isn't.
No,
So,
Even the
You got the
LEC
L-
wouldn't be the parking, well, you could, but there's no, we get back to right where we were before with the heat and the air situation. They sat there and froze to death in the winter. I don't know that City Hall probably doesn't have anything big enough.
he's thought about City Hall before.
we've talked about City Hall, I mean, that's, just options. We've talked to them, see what we can do there.
It's been so long since I've been in City Hall, I can't remember the room situation.
Couple of council members indicated rent, and I know some places do, I know Swansea County has done, they rent like a trailer type deal, and they move it around. But we could do that and set it out here somewhere, back here behind, or whatever, like one of those mobile rooms. And bring
Like
them-
San Bernard still has classrooms, I
and
think,
bring
like
them in
that.
one end, run them through and vote them, and out the other end, so that's a possibility. And that was discussed the very first night that we talked about not being able to use this room. Two or three actually of the council members at that point were
For that?
receptive to that.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
really?
there's one of them that brought it up. So I think that may wind up being our best bet, I don't know.
Well, they were talking about the room at Dale being so small and having trouble with it, would that be an option? Because then you have to rent two, I guess. But, because we did have some issues with that this past election, didn't we?
Well, we did when they had the volume we had, I mean,
They stuck them back in that little room and they just,
they couldn't, it was
It was
too
too
big enough
little.
for the early voter, not what we had in the volume. See, we
What
voted.
are you talking
that's-
about, San Hall? I think you said Dale.
well, I was thinking community center.
Yeah, yeah,
Dale's
yeah.
what automatically pops in my head.
So that was one of the, that's one of the comments I made today on the thread or the email that was going around among clerks is, we voted more people early in 2 out of the last 3 elections than we have on election day. So why would we want to change early votes? I
And
mean,
honestly, and I know it won't stop, but with the mail going to Louisville now is so screwed up
Oh,
with
yeah.
the mail vote that I would rather see them pick up travel board and early vote, honestly,
yeah.
than to do absentee voting through mail.
Right,
It's just crazy.
right. Yeah, I agree with that.
But I hadn't thought about the mobile buildings, that would be.
Well, that was, like I said, that was brought up that night, and that's one of the council members, so, and then 2 others chimed in. So I know there's 3 out of 7 that are at least receptive. We have to find out what it costs and what the logistics would be and all that.
The only other thing is I saw that the 2 buildings right here on the corner are for rent, but they don't let you rent them for just weeks at a time, so.
Enter the lawyer's office.
I don't know, but, well, would that go all the way back through Jerry Eminem's office? I mean, it's the
No.
front too on
No,
the,
it's
it'd
the
be
front
like,
two.
was it
Andrews
Martin
is on the
Steer?
side.
Yeah,
So.
it's the front two, they both
Yeah.
have for rent.
That all, I think that all belongs to the same people, but yeah, no, it doesn't go all the way. There may be a door or something that connects them, but.
I don't think they go all the way
they don't go
back.
all the way back.
I think so.
Of course, I know we got a while, we got a year to think about this, but
Right.
Can't be here quicker than we think, that's what, yeah.
A year from April, it's gonna start. Yeah, I started to say, the time's going so fast, we need to get some options anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, when I went to
But
that.
like I said, being, with it being in here, it's just, for me,
It's
it's
so
ideal.
easy.
It's so easy, they pop in, if they need me, I can come over here. I mean, everything's right here, we can just go with it, rather than have to take off and go
To wherever
chase
they
the
are.
rabbits. Yeah.
Well, we won't know until they pass the early
Right.
vote.
Well, that's when we find out what, if they set it at a specific times, then we can start looking at it, what can we adjust or do here? And if they give it to us, then we've got more leeway, we can still do the same thing.
Right.
So, and I don't know when they'll be done or when this stuff will conclude, but it's gotta be done, it can't be too long.
Well, I wouldn't think they could drag it out till
They
the,
can't drag it out that far, we're on the second reading on some of the stuff already, so.
so it's gotta be soon.
Yeah.
Mm.
At least in my summertime.
We adjourn?
Yeah.
Any further business that anybody knows of?
Oh,
All right, we are adjourned. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.